If you have the atlas, it's on page 87, and then they have two of them marked. They have this one and this one both marked as left atrium. Well, you know the right atrium can't be the left one. So this is a right atrium, so they have an error. You think I make mistakes, they do too. And they publish there. So when we start at the top, we're gonna go with this green stuff, and then there's a piece in here, and then we go to this narrow, and then these fibers on each side, and then around the corner. So that'll be the conduction system. So the first part should be the sinoatrial node?
Yeah, sinoatrial
Okay.
node, yeah.
So that's it right there. So the numbers will be just one after the other. So the impulse will jump from here to the green inside there, the atrioventricular nodes. From the sinoatrial is the pacemaker of our heart, and then you go into the sinoatrial node. Then this narrow part, and the 75 is written over here on the side, that's going to be the bundle of His. And then you can see the arrows, so they point 76, 77. So you have the right bundle branches and the left bundle branches. Then they come around the corner, these white kind of fibers down there. Those are the Purkinje fibers, so they make the muscle contract in the ventricle. Okay, and now I'm going to start up here with 1, 2, and hey, 3. And 1 and 2 are 3, literally. So this is the right brachiocephalic vein. This is the left brachiocephalic vein. They become the superior vena cava. It empties into the right atrium. The day of the test, if I want right atrium, right ventricle, left atrium, left ventricle, I will say what chamber is this. Otherwise, what structure are the parts. So when you get into the right atrium, from the outside, you have a right auricle covering to help protect it. Then the left atrium will have a left auricle. When the auricles come in, you've got these little areas here. So you guys should see the muscle. Does it have the muscle there?
Mm-hmm. Pectinate.
Pectinate muscles, yeah. So they're kind of the rough area, and then some of them are way down, but they're going to attach the auricle to its atrium. Okay, so they're kind of more parallel. I think that was it for the parts inside, right?
Superior
Oh, wait.
vena cava.
Hang on, I did that already.
Coronary sinus.
Hang on, we gotta get to that in a minute. Now, there is on each side, so this whole piece here, this flat part, is gonna be the interatrial septum, so it's the septum between the two walls. And it's not this wide on a real heart, but this guy's big. And then there's an oval depression where my thumbs are sitting now. This side there's no number, but on the right side you've got numbers. That's the fossa ovalis. That was that open hole that closes when you take your first breath. It'll slip shut if it grew right. Otherwise you have a hole in your heart. Okay, so that guy's there. And then, still with that, right? Coming in from way underneath here, this little blue guy right there. That's the inferior vena cava, so you can see my thumb come up from it. And then you're going to drain, we haven't fed the heart yet, but we're going to drain it of all the deoxygenated blood back here through this big guy in the back. That's the coronary sinus, thin walled vein in the back of the heart. So it will also empty in to that atrium, and that's what that one black spot is showing, where it comes in.
Which one's that one?
Yep, that black spot is where
What's
it
it
comes
called?
in. It doesn't have a name. I
Oh.
just said that's where it empties in. So you have all the deoxygenated blood coming from every part, the head, arms, the body, and then the heart itself comes in here.
Okay.
So the right side has no oxygen in us. Then you go through this valve right here. It's marked 56 on both sides this time. And you're going, that's the tricuspid valve. Okay, so you drop through the tricuspid and you enter into the right ventricle. Now, it won't matter which ventricle we're looking at. That one has some numbers on it. This guy should too. So it doesn't matter which ventricle, it just has, they all have parts. So these parts that on some of our hearts still have like little strings or they're still plastic, these are the chordae tendineae, heart strings literally, chordae tendineae. They're attached to the papillary muscles, stick up like fingers, and that comes up out of the trabeculae carni, the rough meat. It's literally what it means, of your heart. And then they're attached to the flaps on the two valves. So they keep the valves from flipping up, from prolapsing. So they just close. And you can hear them when they come together, they'll make that sound. You listen with a stethoscope. So it keeps them closed together. Okay, so we were in our right ventricle. And then you're going to pump the blood through this guy. So that's the pulmonary semilunar valve. And it pumps it into the pulmonary trunk, which is this beginning blue part in the numbers right here. So it's the beginning of the artery, and then we'll come to the back, and again, it's your left and your right, the blue. So this one, right where it's cut, a little bit further, right about where my fingers are now, is where this would branch into two like it does back here. So you've got either the right or the left pulmonary arteries going to the respective lung. No oxygen. Remember, arteries go away from the heart. So we get the oxygen, and now we're coming back, and these red guys, these are the pulmonary veins. Again, the number is on this one, I think, there, and this guy, so I'm going to in the middle of them. Again, from this view, you're right, you're left. So now we've got the oxygen, and now we're going to empty into the left atrium. The left side of the heart has the oxygen. And then it's going to go through the bicuspid valve, and then into the left ventricle. And when you're looking at these and you get confused which side's which, when you look at this wall over here, this is relatively thin, this guy's really thick. The left is always thick-walled. Left is really thick-walled compared to the right. Okay? So when you're looking at them, that's one way to know. So now you're going to beat, you're going to push, and you're going to push it through the aortic semilunar valve into the ascending aorta, which comes up. Then you go into the aortic arch. And this little piece way down here is the descending aorta. It'll go behind the back as thoracic aorta, and out your belly is the abdominal aorta. It's still just one big artery. The biggest artery in the body. Now, when you come out of this guy, you're going to have these two little stumps, and what they're going to be are the right and left coronary arteries. Okay? So on the left side, this is it right here coming down. And it immediately branches, so part of it goes under this auricle and the other part runs down the front of your heart. This part going down the front of your heart is the anterior interventricular artery. So it's feeding the front of the heart. And then this one that goes around, as it comes around the side, it'll bend and go down the side here. That big red thing. So it goes around and bends. Circumflex means around and bends. So that's the circumflex artery. And then over here on the right, when this one comes out, that's it right there. So it'll go under the auricle and keep coming and then bend down. So it goes around under the auricle, that's marginal. When it bends down, that's the posterior interventricular artery. Okay. So now we fed the heart. We got all the carbon dioxide, now we're feeding it oxygen and glucose. So when you come up out of the aortic arch, we have that immediately. And when this is closed, you can't see. So as you come up this aorta, you can see these big guys coming off. Remember, the aorta keeps running down the back. But you've got these. This one here is the one and only brachiocephalic artery. We have two veins, but only one artery. This is the left common carotid artery that's going to go up your neck. And this is the left subclavian vein. Artery, sorry. So over here, these come out left, left. As it curves to the left, so they come out on their own. This brachiocephalic will give rise to the two on the right. So you'll have the one going up your head as the right common carotid, then the right subclavian, then your clavicle. Okay? So that's how the heart works.